Hey, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and an energy worker and a channel. And at tdjacobs.com, you will find a vast wealth of tools to help support you along your journey, whether you're doing astrology or you're looking for spiritual guidance, meditation tools, astrology courses, all kinds of things, including programmed crystals and a bunch of books. This video is on Chiron in the third house of the natal chart, and part of a series where I'm explaining my unique approach to Chiron in a bunch of videos. And on my site, our resources related to Chiron, including the Chiron Natal Report, Chiron book, and the audio course. Both are called Chiron 2012 and the Aquarian Age, the key and how to use it. So my approach to Chiron, check out the first two videos, the Chiron overview video and Chiron and energy management, total about 35, 38 minutes to get a sense of my unique approach to Chiron. Some of what's in this video may not make sense if you haven't watched those videos. So Chiron I treat in the natal chart as, and in your psyche, as an energy antenna. So you are picking up on energetic cues from the world around you. So think of Mercury as perception function, Saturn as the developing maturity and authority function, the structuring discipline function. Chiron is the energy antenna. So you sense energies from others and in the world around you, and you feel emotionally in response. It's kind of a beautiful thing if you can deal with it, if you're willing to accept it, as if you're a musical instrument. The music is emotion, and energy in the world around you and in others is strumming the strings, so to speak, or plucking the key, hitting the keys. So wherever Chiron is in your natal chart, you may feel a lack of love, you may feel rejected, you may feel that part of you may be worth rejecting. I like to think of the opposite of lovable, feeling lovable, as feeling rejectable, like worthy of rejection. Chiron is a marker of uniqueness. And so wherever it is in your natal chart, you're going to stand out as different. So in the third house, we're talking about how you process information, how you learn, how you gather information, what interests you, what piques your interest, the kinds of things you want to learn and talk about, what comes out of your mouth when you raise your hand in class when you're a kid, or in meetings or seminars when you're an adult, how you view the world and how you process data, as well as how you learn and communicate and think. There's a uniqueness in there that you, might feel makes you worthy of rejection. Now, it could be how you process info. It could be what looks like a learning disability or actually is. It could be something about the mechanisms of speech with something with your vocal cords or your mouth stuttering or your tongue, an injury. It could be all kinds of things with your physical mouth as well and the voice. But it can also just be what you're interested in. And like if people are talking about strange phenomena, but they're talking about, things that are kind of mainstream, and you're coming up with all these conspiracy theories or all these things about aliens and Bigfoot and all these things where other people are like, what just happened? Your interest, what you're thinking about and talking about will be different. You may feel rejectable for what you're interested in and what you say. Now, the thing is that you're hypersensitive to how others respond to you. So you may be prone to making a mountain out of a molehill because part of you is afraid of being rejected or thinks you're not worth love. Now, Chiron within us is activated. The wounding is activated when we're infants. So this goes back to when you were hours, days, weeks, months old. When I've tuned into people doing energy work and looking for this chironic imprint, it's never above or older than 18 months of age. So it's very young. So this part of you cannot think straight, cannot reason. This part of you is carrying the fear of rejection and the sadness from not being loved. So when you, third house, think about little kids, it could be about vocalization, but it can also be about exploring the environment. Because in the third house, we reach out to, I'm looking at my desk, touching the things that are on my environment. So the way that you did that, and it could also be vocalizations, the way you cried or the way when you were learning to talk, the way you asked for something, or the way you talked or what you said, there's something unique in there. And you might have felt other people making fun of you, even if they didn't mean to, because you're hypersensitive to how they react to your vocalizations and your touch, your exploration. So what it comes down to is you will have recreated through fear of rejection a bunch of rejections because of your mind and your voice and what you're interested in. You may have this inner kid come up who's afraid that if you say what you should say, or say what you're inspired to say, or learn what you want to learn, or tell people what you want to say, that you'd be worth rejecting because you're weird, something's wrong with you. That's what it seems you've learned with Chiron in the third house. What it really means is that your perspective is different, and your job is to validate yourself in the ways that others haven't been able to do. So think about this little kid who can't reason through things, an inner infant, who can't think through something, who doesn't understand, who just needs love and support and safety and isn't getting it. That's the Chiron thing with all of us. The little kid doesn't feel loved. Even if the parents have the best intentions and the best behaviors and choices, we're creating this thing about needing to learn to love ourselves. That's a huge part of the compassion of the Chironic process, is learning to love ourselves. So your little kid, your inner kid may take over, and then you lose your adult tools and you're just afraid, so you don't speak, and you have this big fear about it, this big anxiety about it. So you have to remember that the little kid needs to be validated in ways that the people around you when you were that young couldn't do it. So you have to validate yourself in all the ways, you have to love yourself in all the ways that nobody else has. So whatever you're interested in, if somebody says it's weird, you just accept it. You have compassion that that person might actually fear standing out and being weird, so it's projecting or something. If somebody, if you raise your hand and you offer something that you thought about and is honestly what you want to talk about, and nobody else understands it, you accept they don't understand it, or that's not what they want to talk about. But that doesn't mean you and your thought and your interest are less valid. So you must validate yourself so the little inner kid feels accepted and safe. I often with Chiron processes, I tell people to make a list, and it could be one thing or 70 things, but to make a list of what you wish your parents would have been for you or done for you when you were very young. Specifically to get at this Chiron thing, what is part of me waiting for someone else to love me regarding? And then you do those things for yourself, making a commitment to never abandon this inner kid. In this case, whatever I'm thinking or saying or learning or wanting to share with the world, it is what it is. And yes, remembering that I'm hypersensitive to others' reactions. I may feel they think I'm weird and therefore not worthy of love and acceptance, but I have to remember I have to validate myself. So when you have compassion for yourself, that you'll always be that vulnerable regarding your thoughts and your ideas and how you learn even, when you have that compassion for yourself, you're no longer waiting for someone, that little kid is receiving love, is no longer waiting for someone else to validate or love you, and the whole experience changes. Then you can have compassion for others who are vulnerable and insecure sometimes when they offer their unique thoughts. But remember, they might not be hypersensitive. You will continue to be. So if you want more information on this and you want to understand your Chiron more, get the Chiron Natal Report from tdjacobs.com under Natal Reports page. It'll go through your natal house sign and aspects and transits of progressions and transits of Chiron to your chart. So this is a great report. I'm really happy to bring it out. Check that out at tdjacobs.com. Thanks for your time, and stay tuned for more videos in this series. Take care.